Cleveland, Ohio. Mid-American Mutual. A man named Larry Brennan has just been handed a new territory.
Larry got a new client portfolio for you. Imperial Court. They're running some trade fair. Sell what you know.
The folder had a red stamp, Marek Imperial Court. Alien script written beneath.
Marek. Must be one of those new industrial parks. Trade fair always brings good foot traffic.
Larry Brennan did not ask questions. He had sold insurance for 22 years. His closing rate was 94%. To him, the Marek Imperial Court was just another territory. He packed his briefcase, nodded to the receptionist, and walked out into the gray afternoon. He sold life insurance. The Marek Imperial Court did not stand a chance. A human salesman visited the imperial capital. He left owning their treasury in his modest business shuttle. Larry Brennan filed a flight plan for the Marek system and launched.
Good thing the company installed that translator module. Wouldn't want to mispronounce the brochure.
The shuttle was packed for a standard trade fair. Folding table, pop-up banner, 4 boxes of brochures. The shuttle dropped out of FTL above a world of pastel gold cities and violet skies.
That's a convention center. Looks like a palace.
Larry landed in the designated merchant quarter, completely unfazed by the alien architecture.
Nice location. Good foot traffic. I'll have the booth up in 20.
He unfolded the table, clipped on the Mid-American Mutual sign, and laid out the brochures in neat rows.
Translator online. Life insurance for your future. That should get their attention.
Larry Brennan stood behind his booth in the heart of an alien empire, waiting for his first customer. A silver-scaled Marek noble broke away from the crowd and approached the booth.
What is this? Life insurance? I have never seen such a concept in our markets.
It's a financial product that builds cash value over your lifetime, with a death benefit for your heirs.
Larry launched into his presentation, the translator smoothly rendering insurance terms into concepts of eternal value accumulation.
And the mutual fund component means your money works for you, growing tax-deferred and reinvesting dividends automatically.
Tax-deferred? So my wealth could multiply beyond death? This is a form of legacy immortality.
Jorah did not read the 60 pages of fine print. She saw only the promise of eternal wealth.
I will sign. This is a transformation of our understanding of mortality and finance.
Her 4-fingered hand signed with a stylus, and the contract glowed, binding her fortune to Mid-American Mutual. Larry filed the contract with a satisfied nod, a quiet click in a financial trap he would never understand. By midday, Minister Jorah had returned with a retinue of curious nobles. The booth was no longer quiet.
This is the best foot traffic I've seen in years. They can't get enough of the immortality angle.
Noble after noble asked the same question. Could this truly preserve wealth beyond death?
Absolutely. It's a standard whole life policy with mutual fund accumulation. Your heirs will thank you.
One signed, then another. The stack of bound contracts grew taller with each passing hour.
10 policies before lunch. At this rate, my quarterly bonus is in the bag.
The nobles chattered among themselves, calling it an earth wealth tool of immortality, a status symbol for the modern court. As the market stalls began to close, Larry broke down his booth, his briefcase heavy with 10 signed contracts.
Best trade fair ever. And it's only day 1.
10 of the most powerful families in the empire were now irrevocably tied to a Cleveland mutual fund, and Larry had no idea. Within hours, the human's booth became the subject of court gossip from the merchant quarter to the palace.
Your Majesty, the merchant quarter hosts a human selling a financial product that promises wealth beyond death.
Wealth beyond death. Explain this concept, Minister Jorah.
A contract that builds value over a lifetime and passes to one's heirs. They call it life insurance.
A human peddler's trick. Father, surely this is beneath imperial attention.
If our nobles are buying, it may be worth understanding. What is the required contribution?
A mere 12% of current wealth, with annual contributions thereafter. Many courtiers have already signed.
12%. A small price for immortality. I will see this human myself, but without the crown's glare.
Then I will accompany you. Let us dress as merchants and see what charm this off-worlder truly wields.
The emperor and his heir would walk among their subjects, disguised as two wealthy merchants curious about Earth finance. The emperor and crown prince approached the booth in simple merchant robes, their bearing unmistakable but their identities hidden.
Welcome, gentlemen. I am Larry Brennan with Mid-American Mutual, here to talk about life insurance.
We are merchants of means. We have heard of your wealth beyond death product. Explain it to us.
Of course. It's a whole life policy with a cash value component invested in our mutual fund. Your money grows tax deferred, and you can pass it on to your heirs.
And the initial cost? A percentage of one's current holdings, I presume.
12% to open the policy, with annual contributions, standard terms. Everyone here has been very pleased.
Then it is a reasonable price for eternity. I will sign.
If my father signs, I will as well. This insurance may, after all, be more than a peddler's trick.
Both signatures glowed on the contracts, binding the Imperial bloodline to the same Cleveland Mutual Fund.
Thank you both for your business. You've made a sound investment in your family's future.
That evening, in her private chambers, Minister Jorah sat with her copy of the insurance contract and actually read the fine print.
The wealth transfer clause. 12% of all personal holdings move to an Earth escrow account. How unusual, but the Emperor himself has signed. It must be a standard Earth quirk. Their financial systems are primitive but not malicious.
The next day, the line at Larry's booth seemed infinite. Word of the Emperor's purchase had spread like a pandemic.
50% of the court now. If I keep this pace, I'll clear the whole roster before the trade fair ends.
Nobles who had hesitated before now hurried to sign, afraid of being left out of the exclusive Immortality Club.
No need to rush, folks. There's enough whole life for everyone. Just sign and your family's future is secured.
Each signature glowed and was filed away, another thread binding an empire's wealth to a modest office building in Cleveland.
I have reviewed the terms thoroughly. The human's product is sound. Our court has made a wise collective investment.
The last skeptic nodded and joined the line. Larry's closing rate remained a perfect 100%. Day 5, a line formed outside Larry's booth before he'd finished his morning coffee.
Open at 9, pitch every 14 minutes, close at sunset. It's clockwork.
A noble in flowing azure robes hesitated at the front. A question formed on his face. He asked, through the translator, what would happen if he wanted his money back.
I am sorry, but life insurance policies are non-refundable. That's standard across the industry.
The noble considered this for a moment, then shrugged. His people had never heard of insurance, let alone refunds. He signed. The contract glowed its binding light, and Larry added it to the stack. No refunds, no cancellations, and no one batted an eye. The concept simply didn't exist in their culture.
That's 65% of the court. At this rate, I'll have the whole palace signed by the weekend.
He never noticed that each signature silently siphoned a fortune into a Cleveland escrow account. A shrewd-eyed Marek financial advisor pushed to the front of the line, armed with questions about the contract's arcane clauses. Larry answered in a stream of insurance jargon, surrender charges, non-forfeiture options, participating policies. The advisor's expression shifted from skepticism to bewilderment. None of it made sense, but it sounded impressively complex. The nobles behind him grew impatient. They had waited all morning for their chance at immortality. Murmurs turned to open complaints. Under pressure, the advisor relented. He signed the contract with a resigned flourish, the crowd cheering as the glow confirmed another policy. Later that evening, in the palace, Crown Prince Kalen found his father in the throne room, still wearing the satisfied expression of a wise investor.
Father, have you seen the latest figures? Our court's collective commitment has exceeded all expectations. The human's product is truly revolutionary.
Indeed, my son, we have secured a legacy that will outlast our physical forms. The Empire's future is assured.
The Emperor's endorsement was now a matter of pride, not suspicion. He had no idea that his treasury was already beginning to feel the drain. Larry packed another day's worth of contracts into his briefcase, still 2 policies shy of his daily record, and none the wiser. Day 9, the final day of the trade fair. Larry stood behind his booth with a list of the remaining holdouts. He gave the pitch one final time to each one, the same 14 minutes, the same holographic charts. No deviation. The last few signatures glowed and were added to the stack. The briefcase was now fat with bound promises.
84% of the Imperial Court. Never had a territory this responsive.
He folded the table, rolled the banner, and packed the brochures. The booth that had become famous was just a memory.
Best trade fair I've ever worked. Head office will be thrilled.
He loaded the shuttle, secured the contracts, and filed a flight plan for Earth. No farewell ceremony, no second thoughts. The modest business shuttle lifted off from the Imperial capital, its briefcase insignia catching the last light. Larry Brennan set the autopilot and leaned back. He was tired. He missed his bonus by 2 policies, but it was a good trip. Behind him, 84% of the Merrick Imperial Court's personal wealth was now legally bound to a mutual fund he'd never ask about again. 48 hours later, Larry Brennan walked into Mid-American Mutual's Cleveland office, briefcase heavy with Merrick contracts.
Larry, what in blazes is all this? You were only gone 9 days.
Just the Marek portfolio, Greg. They loved the whole life. Signed up 84% of the court.
Greg fed the contracts into the system. In the back office, a junior analyst watched the Merrick escrow account swell with numbers that made no sense. By closing time, the total rivaled the entire Marek Imperial Treasury. The analyst blinked and ran the numbers again.
Standard contract terms. We hold the assets. They pay premiums. It's all above board.
The commission calculation triggered automatically. A check printed in the accounting office.
That's a lot of zeros. Maybe I can finally replace the sedan.
Larry drove to the dealership and bought a beige sedan with all the options. He still thought he'd missed his quarterly bonus. Larry drove home, his commission check already deposited, wondering what territory he'd get next quarter. 11 months passed. On Merrick, the first annual reports came in, and the Imperial Treasury's numbers were inexplicably awful.
These figures cannot be right. Our personal wealth reserves have dropped by nearly 12% across the board.
She traced the drain through financial records and found the singular cause. The Earth contracts.
The insurance policies, the fine print, the escrow transfer, it was all there, and I dismissed it.
She rushed to the Emperor, her normally composed demeanor shattered.
Your Majesty, we have been deceived. The human's contract has been draining our court's wealth into an Earth escrow. We signed away our treasury.
An emergency session of the court was convened that very hour. The nobles assembled, faces grim.
This off-worlder peddled immortality and stole our fortunes. How could our legal systems have allowed this?
The contracts were binding under Earth law. We signed willingly without reading the full terms. There was no deception in their legal framework, only in our understanding.
The truth was a poison in the Imperial chamber. They had no recourse, no treaty, and no refunds. But they would demand one anyway.
Send a formal demand to Mid-American Mutual immediately. Return our wealth or face imperial consequences.
The message was translated into English, stamped with the Imperial seal, and beamed toward Earth.
A demand for refund from the Merrick Imperial Court. What the heck? Legal will know what to do with this, not my circus.
He forwarded the demand file, along with the archived Merrick contracts, to Mid-American's legal department.
An interplanetary dispute? Mid-American Mutual versus Merrick Imperial Court. This is new.
She highlighted the transfer clauses, the signatures, the non-refundable terms. Everything was standard.
The contracts are ironclad. They signed willingly. No coercion, no fraud under our law.
Mid-American's legal department had seen it all. Insurance contracts enforced by courts for a century and a half. The question was not whether the contracts would hold, but what the Merrick would do when they found out. Helen Park spent 2 more days studying every clause. She cross-referenced Merrick trade law, Earth insurance statutes, and intergalactic financial protocols.
There is no loophole. The Marek signed willingly. The terms are standard. Under Ohio Insurance Code, these contracts are enforceable. Greg, I've drafted the response. It's polite, but unequivocal. The contracts are binding, and the funds will not be returned.
The letter began with "Dear esteemed Emperor," and continued for 3 pages of precise legalese. Its conclusion was a single, unyielding sentence. "We regret that Mid-American Mutual is unable to honor your request for a refund. All policies were signed voluntarily and are governed by the laws of the state of Ohio, which do not provide for rescission under these circumstances."
That's the ticket. Send it out. They'll have to live with their investment.
He signed the cover letter without a second thought, stamped it with the company's seal, and forwarded it to the Merrick diplomatic channel. The response left Earth that afternoon, a quiet, polite, and completely immovable no.
I almost feel sorry for them. But they should have read the fine print.
The trap had sprung, and now the Marek would learn that Earth's insurance contracts were more binding than any Imperial decree. The refusal letter arrived in the Imperial Palace exactly 1 standard week later. Emperor Velsar IV read it personally.
They refuse. A common insurance company dares to deny the Imperial will. This is an act of war.
Within the hour, the Imperial legal team assembled. Every treaty, every statute, every precedent was scoured for a weapon.
Find me a loophole. Any jurisdictional defect, any misinterpretation. I will not be bested by a human's fine print.
Your Majesty, the contracts are governed by Earth law. No intergalactic treaty supersedes them. The humans have protected themselves for a century and a half.
Then seize the funds. Order the Treasury to reclaim what was taken.
The funds are already in Earth's escrow accounts, invested and compounding. We cannot access them. We have no legal standing in Ohio.
Then we are paupers in our own palace. We traded an empire for a promise of immortality that was nothing more than a contractual trap.
I should have read the fine print that night. I thought it was a quirk, not a trap.
The Marek Empire was solvent, but its ruling class was financially broken, and there was nothing they could do but learn to live with the consequences. A week after the Marek refusal, Greg Morrison summoned Larry to his office with good news.
Larry, those alien contracts you brought back, they've made the company more money than the last decade of domestic sales. Upper management wants you as regional manager.
Regional manager? I don't know what to say. I was just happy hitting my numbers.
He handed Larry a new commission check, already signed, and a nameplate for his new office.
A corner office? Maybe I can finally replace those old chairs in the waiting room.
By the end of the month, Larry had moved into a larger office with a window, his name on the door, but his habits didn't change. He still tracked every policy against his quarterly bonus.
2 more policies, and I hit the extra tier. The Marek accounts are paying steady, but I need fresh leads.
He picked up the phone to call a local auto dealership. His new sedan was running fine, but he needed to sell, not buy. Larry Brennan had accidentally conquered an empire with a briefcase and a smile, and he still didn't know. Within 5 years, the Marek Empire sealed its borders to all human contact. Its pride shattered, but its treasury quietly managed from Ohio. The mutual fund had swollen until it exceeded the entire Imperial treasury, a silent monument to fine print and human optimism.
The Marek accounts are performing beyond all projections. Our best quarter yet, thanks to that trade fair you worked.
Trade fair? That must have been the big industrial park event a few years back. Good returns.
He never connected it to the Marek Imperial Court. That file was just alien portfolio in his mental ledger, long closed.
Still too short for the extra bonus this quarter. Auto dealers on the west side might be receptive.
The Marek Empire had become a footnote in a quarterly report that he skimmed for his own numbers and then tossed aside. On Marek, the Imperial family adapted to a humbler life, their personal wealth now flowing inexorably to Cleveland.
Hi, this is Larry Brennan with Mid-American Mutual. I was hoping to discuss your fleet insurance options.
He never asked about the Marek again. His closing rate remained 94%, and his bonus was always just 2 policies away. In the Imperial Palace, Emperor Velsar IV stared at a holographic balance sheet that never stopped shrinking.
All our personal wealth, siphoned to Cleveland. The empire endures, but our nobility will never recover.
And the human who did it probably never understood the magnitude of his actions. He was just a salesman.
She was right. In a regional office on Earth, Larry Brennan was finishing his lunch.
Roast beef on rye. Good sandwich. Now where are those dealership leads?
He glanced at his quarterly tracker. Still, 2 policies short.
Just 2 more policies for the bonus. Maybe I'll call Henderson's Autos first.
He picked up the phone with the same handshake grip he'd used on the Merrick Emperor.
Hi, this is Larry Brennan with Mid-American Mutual. I was hoping to discuss your fleet insurance options.
In that moment, a galaxy apart, a deposed empire paid its premiums and a salesman chased his bonus. Neither knew the other existed. The Marek Empire never recovered its pride. Its borders remained sealed, its wealth perpetually in escrow. Other galactic powers took notice. Earth's reputation shifted from naive newcomer to economic predator. Alien scholars began studying the insurance contract as a weapon of mass financial destruction. A galactic news broadcast showed the Merrick Palace, the Mid-American banner now a permanent fixture, a reminder of the day a salesman conquered an empire. The galaxy learned a new truth. The most dangerous human isn't the soldier with a gun, but the salesman with a briefcase. And the man who did it sold life insurance, chased his bonus, drove a beige sedan. His closing rate was 94%. He never missed a quota. The Merrick Imperial Court did not stand a chance. They never read the fine print. A human salesman visited the Imperial capital. He left owning their treasury, and he never even knew. After 40 years, Larry Brennan's retirement party filled the Mid-American break room with cheap streamers and a store-bought cake.
To Larry. He sold insurance to the stars and never missed a single quarterly quota. Not once.
The stars. That trade fair on Merrick really was something. Best territory I ever had.
No one ever told him the real nature of that trip. To them, it was just a legendary sales run. He went home that evening, loosened his tie, and turned on the television. A news ticker scrolled. Mid-American Mutual Merrick Fund, now largest financial entity in the galaxy. Larry watched for a second, then switched the channel to an old game show. He had accidentally conquered an empire, and his only thought was whether the next contestant would win the bonus round. He sold life insurance for 40 years. He still didn't know. The retirement cake grew stale. The streamers drooped, and Larry Brennan's legacy became a secret only the stars would keep. He sold life insurance. He had done so for 22 years. His closing rate was 94%. The Merrick Imperial Court did not stand a chance, and he never even knew. His briefcase became a museum artifact, a tool of financial conquest, labeled simply insurance. The legend of the Cleveland salesman who owned an empire's treasury was taught in galactic history courses, but Larry himself remained an enigma, a man who, until his final day, believed he'd merely attended a very good trade fair. The briefcase insignia still gleamed under the museum lights, a silent testament to the most mundane conquest the universe had ever seen. A human salesman visited the Imperial capital. He left owning their treasury, and the galaxy never looked at a briefcase the same way again. In the Marek Imperial Palace, a quiet wing held the Empire's most treasured and most hated artifact. It was not a crown nor a scepter. It was a simple folding table, a pop-up banner, and 4 boxes of brochures, encased in glass and sealed by imperial decree. The booth that had drained an empire of its personal wealth. A Marek guide led a tour of foreign diplomats past the exhibit, his voice hushed. And that is how we were conquered. By insurance. They did not read the fine print. The diplomats leaned closer, staring at the Mid-American Mutual sign, still legible after decades. No fleets, no generals. One working-class salesman and a stack of contracts. The galaxy remembered the conquest. The salesman, living in Cleveland, did not. A small plaque read Larry Brennan, insurance seller. He never saw it fade to black.